Hello and welcome. We're here on the new map, Tumbleweed. We've got 5v5 on Tumbleweed. All Coliseumers, well, sort of. We got Team 1 Dramus, Forlorn Soul, Mechanaut, Mungo Parker, Captain Chaos. They're on ANS. They're all in voice chat together. Team 2, we got Internet Explorer, Crow, Lux is our blank name, Pyrope, and Bamboo Reed. And I'm not really sure who this is, but he knows the password. And that's kind of the only restriction for being here is if you know it, you know it, and whatever, that's fine. Have fun. I prefer people to be in voice com. Of course, he's not in voice com. But that's fine.
Classic word of mouth style.
Yeah. It's just spreading, and that's great. More people to play with makes for more interesting games. This is Tumbleweed. I'm sure not a lot of people are very familiar with this map, as this was on the testing branch and is now in the main branch as of today. It's dense. It's really densely covered. It's hard to maneuver around. It's hard to wrap your head around it. I think this is one of the most three-dimensional maps out there because there's not the wide open spaces of so many other maps.
Well, at its core, it's not really that complicated a map. It's got an over and under in the center that you can frame it around, right? And you can think of the under area or the middle area as a sort of series of paths you can use to maneuver.
Okay. It's just all the little smaller paths through make it a lot more complicated, at least in my brain.
They
But
do.
I see what you're saying.
Like this over area, right? It basically gives you a series of two objectives that basically are mirror each other. They each have paths down into this central area that connects from C to A to B, right? So that middle path connects with the top, and that forms a sort of, I don't know a great way to describe it, but basically ends up with a lot of top fights that have like underground connections. Way more people going down though this time than usual.
Okay, yeah, we need to start going through the fleets. I'm too busy being fascinated by the map because I think this is a super good and interesting map. It's just going to take a little while to wrap my head around it. Okay, we got Chaos and his beam team. 3 destroyers, 2 E-War frigs. Jamming frigs specifically. 2 blankets, 2 hang-ups apiece. I think he can sack the hang-ups for more blankets, but... Forlorn Soul breaking out once again, the 120 CLs. 4 of them. No point defense on them. Dramus has a 450 Axford, 250 on the rear, and pretty good point defense, well-rounded, and a bullseye. Will be nice. Also has some frigates, bullseyes on them, and some defenders, and some guns. Mechanaut has his usual cap fleet. It's corvettes, some with guns, some with missiles. Oh, no. This is Mechanaut. This isn't, oh, who brings the shuttle scuttles? I think it's Dramus. Yeah, it's Mechanaut, so it's all these have missiles on them. Type 2s. Quite a few of them, in fact. I think they
Just normal S2s.
Yeah. I think they might even have an extra programming channel. Mungo Parker bringing... What is this? What the fuck is this? A shitload of flak and a beam.
Yep.
And they happen to be attached to an Axford.
Yep.
And then a fighting voxel and a little capper ship. Pretty well rounded. ANS team overall. Not really any missiles, which is well, I guess Mechanaut brought a lot of missiles, but those are really for killing smaller things.
Spoilers, by the way, that flak might become super useful.
Oh boy. Alright. I'm excited. I look forward to that. Lux bringing the double 450 SLs with T20s on the sides, as well as some Sarissas. Bamboo Reed. Is that a fucking casemate? No, it's an Aurora. Or it's a Blackjack? No, it's an Aurora. I'm still not good at analyzing Auroras on ships. I've been trying to look at ship holes instead of the weapons panel for their stuff so I can get a better understanding of where things are positioned. Sometimes it's tricky with Auroras. Got an LRT, gun tug, 2 gun tugs. Jamming and grazers on him. Is Crow... Go ahead.
Fighting over A is already getting vicious.
Oh boy. Where the fuck is A on this map, actually? It's in the bottom middle.
Yeah, it's the belly of the map.
Here we go. A little bit of a Corv duel over here. I hear those S2s doing good work against the gun shuttle from Pyrope. Alright, Crow has a support fleet again. He's got a mass driver team, a double bloodhound on this fucking bulker.
I've already given him words on the subject. We know each other's opinions.
Okay.
It has a total error of 12 meters and 0.1 velocity, or meter a second. So it's very accurate bloodhounds.
Huh. So does overlapping the bloodhounds actually increase the accuracy?
It does absolutely nothing.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about.
It only gives you benefits if it's from multiple separate ships, even if they're right next to each other, because the game does not simulate angles.
Oh. Okay. I didn't know that at all, actually. I didn't think that multiple bloodhounds on one target would help from separate ships.
You see, what that is you get the most accurate single data point at any given tick, right? So you have a random error on every single ship, but that random error is different, and it might be less for one of your ships. So having many eyes on a single thing means a more accurate track.
Okay, I see. So they aren't combining, they're just covering each other's bad rolls.
Yes. And the rolls are made super fast, so, it's effectively more accurate.
Right. Okay, who have we not gone through? We've gone through Lux, we've gone through Rainbow Reed, Crow, Internet Explorer, 450, Revolver, Support Tug, Capper. This is the old school Alamo fleet, his first Revolver build. Oh boy, here goes Pyrope with more missiles!
Look out, Your Highness.
Get down, Mr. President!
A fine missile, Nate.
The Berry Blaster.
Well, no, I meant look out, Your Highness, but the Berry Blasters will do their job pretty well, it seems.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's about to be some glonk. Yeah, some dead sprinters here in our future.
Always hard to target two things, though, with the Illuminators.
Oh, for sure.
I think the other one might actually get away. If it keeps going down, it won't.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it goes up and has cover, uses the other one's body for cover, I think he's just realizing that, actually.
Too late.
No, he's still just going down. He might be able to dip behind this rock.
No.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make it.
Well, if he makes it, it's not the rock that saves him.
He's gonna make it. No, he didn't make it. He's dead. Womp womp. Okay, so we have a pretty good idea what Pyro's bringing. That is one. Look out, direct 115 and at 80%. MLS 2 bulk. How did you okay? Hold up a fucking second. How expensive are these shuttles? Because we got gun shuttles here. So the problem I've had with gun shuttles is you can't fill out a fleet with them because you run out of ships before you run out of points, and I never know what to make that last ship.
Well, Pyrope fixed that issue by using Illuminator-based MLS2 spam. So she has enough space on her point budget to just fill the rest with these trash shuttles.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently the answer for your 10th ship is a really strong missile bulker.
Well, it's really strong, but it cheaps out on being really strong, right?
For sure. It kind of cheats its way in there. Yeah. Yeah, it's highly conditional on its strength. But I think supporting gun shuttles is actually perfect because it can dumpster sprinters. It'll overwhelm the usual PD on those pretty easily. And
looks like top will be capped with no resistance after they recap D.
And the gun thugs can just, or the gun sprinters rather, or the gun shuttles rather, can just cap points with impunity. That's really cool.
Honestly, I like the idea of this. One, it's a shame they don't have Grape Shot. But two, The rockets are really good at just doing this same job in like 2 seconds, so there's no reaction time. You don't need to bring a full magazine of rockets either. You can just cheap out on them.
Yeah, you mean the offensive S1s?
No, I mean rockets on these clippers.
These Clippers don't have rockets.
Exactly my point.
Oh.
So, like, these are good for sustained harassment, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know they'll last that long. We'll see. If a single one of them manages to use up all of its ammo, I will concede that these have been worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, only bringing 100 bullets for each. I mean, that makes sense. Deep fire coming out of the get off my lawn. That's a good name for a mass driver ship. Ah, here we are, directly into this Axford. What an angle, by the way, this is. Look at where this thing's wedged itself. And
That is
crows.
one volley, maybe two, that will be happening on that thing, unless it stalls out in the. Oh, it found a crack.
Yeah.
That Axford. Well, no more return fire.
Yeah, it's taking a little more damage than it wanted. Man, I'm amazed that Crow was able to spot it wedged like it was.
I think it was just a fortuitous encounter.
Indeed. And Chaos is marking around the map a little bit, being sneaky, looking for something to murder. But
Oh
the
no.
OSP has generally stayed out of the the tumbleweed, and they've been chilling around the edges and sending in the shuttles to cap things.
Honestly, it's the same thing with ANS, except they've been in this one giant clump in the corner of the top.
Yeah. Yeah, the old tactical clump.
Honestly, I don't think it will work out too much. OSP has the right of it here. This map requires too much split up, and this clump, it's not going to be able to cap enough.
Yeah, so there's a term I've kind of come up with. So there's death balling. It's when you get into a group and you move out onto the map. And then there's the tactical clump, which isn't tactical at all. It's when you just sort of group up behind a rock and aren't really sure what to do.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's what's
they
happening.
think they know what they're doing, right? You can see them coming around to take E, and they think they're just going to shoot everything. But the moment they cross that corner with these CLs, they're going to be deleted by the crossfire of a million things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's several Acellos, that's Smash Drivers, and a couple tugs as well.
Honestly, what a lot of people fail to realize is the importance of capping these back points on the map, because your natural is actually much more vulnerable than you realize.
Yeah. Yeah, because of how vision works in Nebulous, naturals are actually quite vulnerable.
Well, on this map especially, you can see it's got one shuttle on point C, right? And it's got Acellos in theory covering it, but they can't see the top area of that cap circle. Like, they would not be able to stop you from capping it before you got it. But they're not even moving towards it. They assume it's impossible.
Yeah. Because it's that backline point. And there's always that risk that there's a rocket shuttle parked in a weird spot.
Well, yeah, you just gotta accept that.
For sure. I think there's not enough willingness in general. It just, not even in a Nebulous, but just in gaming anywhere, to take the risk for a win.
I see you haven't seen my fleets. All suicide ships, no restores. Let's go.
Mad respect.
Well, they've confirmed the location of the Death Ball / Clump. And OSP is going for B, it looks like. But I don't think they understand the geometry of the map well enough.
Yeah, agreed. I think for a lot of these people, this is their first time here. I know Crow's been here before, Chaos has been here before, just a couple times. I don't think Mech's ever been here before. I don't think... Well, no, Mungo was here once, maybe twice.
The CLs are finally going out in the open to get stomped on. They've got good acceleration, though. They immediately move back.
Now, one's already locked, though, and he's eating fire. Gonna start eating a lot of fire.
Berry Force, can it get the missiles on this? They're thinking about it.
Yeah. Although with the eating a lot of RPF right on those two missile tubes, some of these might actually get destroyed. Yeah, but
Uh,
not enough for it to matter.
God, that's so many things attacking this ship. It might not have the illuminators by the time they get there.
These might have HOJ though. They better. They're eating a lot of jamming.
They're not. Nope. That's
Yeah,
illuminator.
they're home on jam.
No. That's an illuminator track they're moving towards, I think.
No way. The illuminator. There's no way the illuminators penetrate all that jamming. I don't know. It's really hard to tell.
We'll find out afterwards.
Yeah, that is true. And I think with how much they wiggled right at the end, I don't know, maybe that was the jamming overriding the illuminators right at that last second. It's hard to tell.
Well, Berry Force is moving back to cover the repair, which is apparently Pyrope's MO.
Yeah, and it works out really well. You don't really see it that often.
Yeah, no, it's very different from the standard suicide style. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I can brawl you, and then I can get back eventually.
Yeah, you can get back and heal up and get into fighting. And I think that's more feasible on these slightly larger matches where we have these 5v5s. Because something can actually come up and take your place in the battle line.
Well, CLs went out again after that, thinking it was all okay, and it's not okay.
Although they are dumping 120 into Ocellos in the side, which is going pretty poorly for the Ocellos.
Yeah, one asks, why are the Ocellos sideways?
Because this guy's a brand new player, and I think this is his 7th or 8th game ever.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, he doesn't know. I remember when the OSP update first dropped, and it was before I had figured out bow tanking, and I was kind of looking at Ocellos, and I was like, man, so many people going backwards and the reactors get blown up. You should probably just go in nose first. It makes a lot of sense. And I started talking to people on Discord, and they're like, yeah, that's just fucking called bow tanking. It's really common. Everybody knows that. Shut up. You're not smart. And I'm like, oh. Well, not everybody knows that, because...
Yeah, why are my teammates doing that?
yeah. Everybody else is real fucking dumb.
Alright, well, they overextended themselves in this, but honestly, because of OSP's greater tactical positioning, it's not that much of a blunder. It would have been better if they reacted to it by just, full flanking for cover, and they kind of backed up for a moment, broke the momentum. But I think they'll manage it anyway. These things are doing way better than I'd expect, given the volume of fire.
Yeah, I wonder how many... Okay, so 1 reinforced and 2 rapids, I think, is the kind of DC he's got on this. Very cheapo. Oh my god. Well, that's a lot of lasers.
This Ocello that's not moving, it's not immobilized.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Like, it's just not moving.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's kind of a fresh player, but he's learning.
Yep, no, it happens.
Yeah, this is how you learn how to play the game, is by dying a lot.
Very successful B fight by this high-grade Cap Corvette. Pyrope's shuttle's just not doing the job, sadly. I think Rockets really would have done better.
Probably, but Rockets are going to take a lot more points, and she couldn't have got the Bulker and the Rockets.
You don't need to go full up on the Rockets is the trick. You can have just 10 of them, right? You only need to win 1 or 2 fights.
Maybe. I don't know. I hate doing that, because if you run into something bigger than a sprinter, you're going to be a little too low on munitions. It's just such a gamble. But I guess the guns kind of already do that as well.
Yeah, that's my framing.
Yeah.
Like, the guns just aren't doing it, so might as well, like, do the rockets that have a very specific success case.
Yeah, and then have the extra points left over for some sort of anchor ship.
Wow, these S1s just keep missing the shuttle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. It's probably a
It's the
maneuverability
short-range armor strike.
problem. Yeah.
Both.
The enemy is securing zone boxer.
Okay, well,
There's something very particular about finding a battleship, sneaking up on it, and then just dumping 3 shuttles worth of rockets into it and killing it.
mass drivers are now eating these corvettes that came bottom and found them wanting. Fortunately, the good one is covered in bastions, but they're still taking out the rest.
The enemy is securing zone comment.
These. Look at them go. It does take a long time to kill bulkers with 120s, though.
Yeah.
Long time. Those S2s are gonna help.
Well, it depends upon the angle. Oh yeah, just shooting this guy. They might get through. 4 bastions is a lot for a tug, but still not enough.
Yeah, bonk. That's dead. Hard killed. Very nice. Mech, just an absolute fucking menace.
And the Crimson Buzzsaw has just been doing real work being next to this rock, sometimes shooting a beam. Critical Guardian of B Point.
Learn this map better. I have no idea where Bravo is. Please. Let's see.
Bravo is where all of the blue forces are that aren't above the map.
Here we are. Oh, it's Delta.
And at the front of that is the Crimson Buzzsaw, trying to hunt down this line ship that retreated from it.
There it is. Here we are. The Crimson Buzzsaw, of course, it's Mungos. Yeah, he's trying to be real clever with this, and I think it is actually working a little bit.
It's been a good game for it. Like, there's been a lot of missile spam. All these stone walls work well against it. It's exactly around the corners against ships that, like, can't fire exactly right around the corner. I'll be honest, though, he's really daring this map to have gotten its, like, modeling exactly right. Because this thing is just, any moment it might clip on something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like it's a success story here, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh no, this bulker is about to eat a beam to the ass. Fire it!
Might be a bit too high.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that did not do as much damage as it probably should have.
It is currently bugged. It had a heatsink rupture from overclocking it.
Oh. Well, that'll do it. And the focusing element's misaligned. And it's dead. It's got restores though, he can bring it back, but
Oh, the gun's dead.
yeah, the
whole ship.
And he took a couple of bullets and it's gone.
Well, what a weird game at this stage. Hopefully OSP manages to take C back right now. Because if they're too cowardly about it, they'll lose their chance to win this game.
Yeah, and they've got the
Bamboo's
score
right there.
advantage.
Yeah, this isn't cowardly or not. Bamboo, wake up. You're right at C point, take it. tugs on that.
The enemy is securing zone
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
They probably
Look
just
at
took a
this.
moment to notice that it was that open at this stage, because there was a cover vat on it first that I presume was contesting it.
Yep.
The enemy is securing zone Atlas. The enemy is securing zone
Yeah,
Eclipse.
I want to do another game here after this. I fucking love this map.
Alright. Is Barry Time back in action?
That is a
No.
very good question.
It's barely got any missiles left, so I'm not so sure. It's got a salvo.
Yeah, it's dropped a couple of its launchers.
It's still got one salvo. Not even really.
It's got about a quarter of one. But that could be good against an unprepared ship. It's not going to be good. Oh, it's going to be good against the sprinter, I think. I don't know, a couple defenders on 2 sprinters. I think they can handle this. Not if that angling's bad, though.
Yeah, if only it could actually get there in time to defend that.
The enemy is securing
Bonk.
zone Atlas.
Damn, got 3 hits anyways. Severely damaging the pale number.
Well, OSP has a bit of a lead, but let's look at the map. Are they actually in position to take anything back? They've got a lot of wounded. They can get A back shortly. B is on lockdown. E, they'd have to get past these beam DDs. D, they'd have to get past all of these frigates and the heavy cruiser. I don't see how they're doing this.
Yeah, and they're kind of out of pushing material. Because the Bulker's out of missiles. Crow's mass drivers. Bamboo's got the 450s. He's kind of playing the poke game, and he's under the map. Could take Alpha, but it's still gonna eat a lot of fire for it, I think. And Lux
It's
is
not really the problem. It's everything else.
yeah, and they are gonna need to 3-cap at this stage. Lux is basically out of the fight. Internet is fighting, but he's in just a really weird spot and is having some issues. Although catching these light cruisers out like this is really good. Gonna be pumping 250 HE right into the broadside of a voxel. Quite powerful. Voxel pushing out the same against the revolver ship. Looks like the Alamo's coming in and trying to tank just a few hits for that.
Unfortunately, these are Forlorn Souls dirt voxels made of, waste paper, dreams, and a budget. So this is not eating as much as one might hope.
Indeed. Yeah, these are going down pretty hard. Also, unfortunately, Internet Explorer is stuck on a rock.
That's pretty stuck.
Yeah. Yeah, he slammed into that thing and then tried to get it spinning, and it was spinning all weird. And now its drive has been damaged enough that it won't run. It's still eating fire. This thing really needs to have its drive working. It's got to rotate to get those guns on target. More beaming happening.
I have no idea how they capped E. They just left E.
What the fuck?
The beam ships. Oh, it's because they were spooked by the mass drivers, so they took more cover. If those beams had been there to hold down the E, they wouldn't have had any chance of comeback.
Yeah, that is not great, but Mass drivers kind of have that effect on people, especially destroyers.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's hard to say it was the wrong move.
Right, right. Because we might have been, you know, in another universe, you know, to say what kind of a jackass pushes beamstones through open space.
I mean, it's only the smallest amount of open space because of how the geometry of this map works out, but it's still
It's
still
enough.
open.
That's, you know, that's maybe a volley a ship, and that's in the broadside. And that's a good way to start losing your keystones there, is what that is.
Fortunately, though, he can go the above route. He doesn't have to take the under route, and if he starts working on that now, he can make sure he gets E.
He's too busy bloodlusting on Lux over here.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
not
the
worth
real
it.
problem is. Like, this thing's basically dead. It's time to go.
The end game is coming. You need every point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time to leave the cell alone, say, this is good enough. I got some points to capture.
The mass drivers are now in position, I think, to take out some CLs. We'll see where it gets.
This fucking 2 ships on Charlie. One voxel comes in to save the cap day.
The enemy is
But
securing
it
zone
might be
common.
a little too late. Oh, nope. There it is. Pop the guns out of that tug. So, Sprinter's gonna be able to grab that. Nice. I wish this
Yeah, we're
rock was
still fine.
darker. All these greens and yellows and oranges and browns are like really fucking with my head.
Yeah. I tend to agree.
Just make it like a black or gray rock. It'd be so... The readability would dramatically increase.
Well, it would be different. It's honestly easier with these colors to read the long distance geometries. Like, if you look at the curves as
That
they,
is
like...
really true.
So, like, it's got mixed stuff going on.
That is not something I had considered.
The enemy secured zone common.
I imagine as a player it's a little easier, but as a spectator you're kind of trying to look at everything on the map all at once, and it's very disorienting.
Yeah. No, that's totally right.
Spectating has been nerfed. Womp womp.
The enemy is securing zone
The
boxes.
Buzzsaw is fighting for B, but it's fighting someone who does not have a gun and does not have restores.
Zone boxes.
So, Buzzsaw's gonna win.
Probably. Probably.
Such a shame. If the Alamo had its guns, they could have really done this.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the guns, it just doesn't have the magazine. Which is
Conceded.
even more painful. Really? Because it's like, my guns are fine, but my stupid fucking magazine got shot out. So that's kind of a random chance sort of thing. Your guns are down, your whole ship's in big trouble, but if your magazine's just out and your guns are fine, then something else weird happened there. That's very annoying.
What do you think are the odds that Dramus is asleep?
Let's see here. Oh, I don't know about asleep, but he's definitely stuck against a rock. Yeah, he hasn't really done much this game, has he? He's just been kind of back here on Delta, hanging out.
Well, he better get on Delta, because if he is asleep, they can cap it and actually win this game.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's gonna happen, actually. Okay, this one rain's switching directions. Yeah, everything's heading back up there.
Is it fast enough?
No. Not with how beat up this Exer it is. Those front thrusters are all jacked up, and I don't think he's got the, well, he does have a Dragonfly. Well, he's got a Dragonfly and a Whiplash, so never mind. He doesn't have the, like, rotational speed to flip around and burn up. The frigates are going to go up there, but they don't have the gunpowder to deal with it. Well...
They just need to get into space.
Yeah. And this
thing's
Vulcan is
fragile.
pretty beat up. I mean, it's got illuminators on it, which I'm pretty sure count as weapons. For capping purposes. Maybe it's
Well, they're
only
not
jammers.
getting on the point now.
Yeah. They're headed up there. But yeah, it's too late. Oh my god, I think OSB is gonna win this.
It's really extremely close. Even one more recap in the next 30 seconds will fix it.
Yeah.
And honestly, they might just get D back. This thing might not actually have any offensive power.
It's got some S1s. It's got a couple S1s. And the VLS1 is, both of them are still intact. Pyro might be angling to keep those alive. No, one of
Nothing on
those
A,
knows.
nothing on E. It's all on D for them. Yeah, this D decides everything.
Yep. And I think that might be it, because these 120s just aren't going to cut it against this bulker. Not firing into the middle of the mass.
Yeah, no. The costs of sleeping at the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, tunnel vision. A little bit, a lot of it, really.
Those DDs also had the opportunity to move over and take E, but they're just too focused on defensive.
Yeah. Chaos is also really bad about tunnel visioning and bloodlusting and going after things instead of playing the cap game. He's got beam battleship brain is what he's got. His job's just kind of to kill shit, and then everybody else has to do that stuff. Yeah, so
one offensive S1 gets shot down. Okay.
I think they've got it. There's no way the ANS is going to be able to recap.
It's actually impossible now.
Yep.
Heroic did it.
Yep. Again.
Yeah, they noticed the person who was asleep and capped their point from right next to them.
Fucking wild.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
Pyrops something else.
Testing zone eclipse.
Who do we... I might just fucking interview Pyrope again. Let's look at the damage numbers first.
Yeah, it certainly was much less glorious this time.
Agreed. But I still think it was a big deal. I also just think that build's cool.
20k? That's actually better than I expected from that ship.
I kind of want to interview Mungo as well and talk to him about his positioning.
Yeah, that beam ship did a lot.
Yeah,
That was his, right?
Yeah. The Crimson Buzzsaw. Yeah, I kind of got bonked.
He dealt 12k. That's actually quite respectable.
It's really good. It's kind of funny because, like, my Internet Explorer performs so well on a regular basis that my expectation for him is, like, if it's sub 30k, it's a bad game for him. Because he just fucking... It's so good.
Yeah, no, Internet Explorer definitely did well. Like,
Yeah, agreed, for sure.
they just didn't carry the whole game.
Yeah, like he usually does. Alright, yeah, I think we're gonna grab Mungo in here because I want to hear about this build. What's up, Mungo?
Hello.
Crimson Buzzsaw.
Yes.
It's quite a ship. Did you build this specifically for Tumbleweed?
No. After a few weeks ago, Puppy from Hell vaporized all my shuttles with a similar build,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
I
just
remember
had
that.
to go for make my own version of it. But I felt like it was perfect for this map.
Yeah, agreed. You found some pretty incredible spots to dig into.
Yeah, it's Moray Eel Gaming.
Out
Yeah,
of
I just
curiosity, did you take this because you thought Pyrope was on the other team?
take what?
This much flack.
No, the flak is to save on power. Flak is very power cheap, so I can have all the power and things like energy regulators and focus particle accelerators, and also have a parallax. I didn't expect the S2 spam.
Very nice. Very good. I'm glad to. I'm very happy to see that that style of thinking, that deep thinking about your fleet build.
How
Yeah,
inconvenient was it to move through those like tiny nooks?
I was pretty fine going through them. I kind of when I set my waypoints, I kind of imagine my orientation of my ship because I kept a heading at all times and just imagined the shape moving through the cracks, so I avoided hitting walls.
Well, it worked.
Yeah. When it came to when internet was peaking, I had the visual track, and you can't really use that. So what I did is position fired ahead of his drives and just waited for it to move into it.
Nice.
Because you can with the Bulker, it felt like he was exposed. The drives are exposed where it can't shoot you, so I could just shoot into the drives. And if you disable a Rolo Bulker's drives, it can't rotate.
That is more than I would do in your position, but it worked out well for you.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately though, I felt like I was microing my Exford so much that I kind of forgot about my Vauxhall up at D, and I probably could have pushed onto the OSP natural
Yeah,
way
that is
quicker
true.
than I actually did. But I was hearing reports that there was a fleet of bulkers on the natural, so I was kind of hesitant.
Somebody lied to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, if you pushed that thing out, that might have been the difference.
For sure.
yeah. I was too busy um, playing around with the exit. I was quite sure the internet was trying to bait me into the open with the Ocello. Kept moving it just into beam range and then pulling it back. So I
He's
was kind of
so
doing
good at
back and
that.
yeah, I was kind of doing a back and forth because I could see that when you can kind of see ship. I was getting a visual through the rocks of the ship's models, so I could kind of see when he was trying to orientate himself to attack me, and when he tried to run away, that's when I would, for certain, that's when I went in.
Very nice. Thank you, Mongo.
Wrong?
I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed your style of play with this. I think that was a really good way to play the beam expert. I think usually when people aren't super familiar with beams, and I know you're not that familiar with beams, they play a little too aggressively. But that
Yeah.
was perfect. That was good ambush play.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yep.
Back to the pit. All right, I'm gonna drag Power up in here. I want to hear about this build. So
Hello.
it's punishment time once again.
Oh my.
You have a tendency to derail me when you do that. So you
Sorry.
did. What came first in that build? The shuttles or the bulker?
Uh, the shuttles. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make like an entire fleet of shuttles. They're all gonna be like super duper cheap, and then I'll just make a ship with whatever points I have left afterwards. So I made like a bunch of like super cheap, like 100 and something point T20 shuttles with like reinforced CICs. And their job, the berries, they're all just supposed to go and die on points. They go around the map, they scout out everything, they wait around rocks, and they just like back cap and just run around all game and be annoying.
How satisfied are you with the guns on them?
The T-20s.
Yeah.
They can take out like basic sprinters and Rains that can't really defend themselves. Those sprinters are pretty ritzy though, so they kicked my butt. Like I had tons of shuttles though. So death by numbers, like Zerglings from StarCraft. Um, they're all named after different berries too. Like I got like blackberry, blueberry, mulberry, strawberry, elderberry, gooseberry, cranberry, uh, elderberry. Yeah, there's like two more I can't remember.
So Rymark
Berry forest.
had a thought
Oh,
about building rocket shuttles instead of the
Yes.
gun shuttles, but half loading them. Like one rocket launcher and just, 10-ish rockets per, as a way to get kind of similar overall potential damage, but much faster.
yeah, that could work. That's a good idea. Yeah, I could try that. Like, they're kind of rockets are kind of like hit or miss by nature, but I mean, the berries are here for a good time, not a long time, so that's probably just fine for them. Yeah, then I just got my S1 liner, the Berry Force HQ, with semi-active S2s. Got like 140 of those. A
You
lot of
really
them.
like your semi-actives.
Yeah, it's I can cram like a ton of missiles into a ship. I can give
Yeah.
them like ritzy maneuvers and support modules.
I really like them too. I just can't make them work with the illuminators on OSP.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, I always use multiple illuminators because bulk fighters like to roll and turn at funny angles. So I try to get as much coverage with the illuminators as I can. Like Berry Force HQ has 4 illuminators on her, and they're on like the each end and top and bottom. So I always have an illuminator that can point somewhere, and I set a heading so that the bulk liner faces to the left, because the top and bottom illuminators kind of face that direction. So I just make sure I have my heading set, and then I just battle short the illuminators and go to town.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fun. I have like a little 220 casemate on it too, just so it can be armed.
It was critical at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Like I got that point right at the end. I was just like, yes, the frigates moved off. I
Yeah, we
forgot.
won the game with that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Sending it
basically what
out.
that fleet does is just like back cap and just offset all game and just be a royal pain in the butt.
How much experience do you have with semi-active missiles?
I have a decent amount of experience. They're the main kind of direct fire missile I use besides hybrids.
Okay.
I have some like S3H backpacks on like the Exfords that I run when I play NS. But anytime I'm going for missile spam, it's got to be semi-active because it's just so funny.
I see. All right.
Yeah, I gotta show you my semi-active ANS fleet sometime.
Oh right. Do those have jammer? Do those have home on jam backup?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The for the Berry Force HQ.
Yes.
Uh-huh. They got a wake secondary. I should put
What the
home on jam
Yes!
though.
fuck? God damn it.
Mhm. Like see the thing is that if I put home on jam secondary, that's 2 points for the seeker.
No, I
As
get
a,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we know why. It's just I thought based on their behavior they were home on jamming since they were getting jammed like a lot by the beam team, but they were still heading to target. Rymark said that it was just the illuminators because illuminators are good, and I thought no way they're not that good, but yeah, he's right.
Well, the
Yeah.
wake.
Yeah, eliminators are good. Also like the wake secondary, like can kinda sometimes guide them into targets. It's better if like I'm shooting a target that's running away, because then the wake will go right into them.
Right.
But sometimes they can like curveball into like the ship behind them or something with wake.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
well, it's still a good time.
Yeah, I think
Lots of fun.
that's
I
the
love
end of
my
the
OSP
interview.
fleets. Okay.
And we'll
Bye
banish
guys.
you.
Thanks for talking to me. Oh no.
Be gone. That was good. That was cool.
Yeah, another good game.
Indeed. Thanks, Rymark, once again, for doubling on the cast.
Yep, I'll banish myself.
These are okay. Be gone! These are oh man, these are so much better when you have two people doing them, because doing the camera work and the casting at the same time is kind of hard, especially on a map I'm unfamiliar with. And it's nice just to have the backup, the teamwork, and the alternative perspective, especially from someone who knows more about the game than I do. And Rymark's on that list. Beef is obviously on that list. Beef's not here right now. He's doing other stuff. And I think that's the video. It was a lot of fun. Tumbleweed, cool map. Get out there, play it. I'm sure by the time this is uploaded in mid-October, or whenever we get around to it, with my gigantic, never-ending backlog, people will have played Tumbleweed. I hope people enjoy them, because it's such an interesting map. Such an interesting map. That's the end of the video. We have a Discord. Links in the description. Come on down if you want. If you don't, that's fine too. I can blow you up without talking to you. That's quite feasible. I'll see you there. Or maybe I won't. Bum bum.